Chairman Cole, Chairman Hastings. This, too, is my very first appearance before this distinguished Rules Committee.
Welcome.
So thank you so much. And before I begin my remarks, I do want to thank the members of this committee. This is a hard-working committee. This is a committee that
We're going to learn to like this guy.
Yeah, and really, you really facilitate our time, what we do on the floor. Another committee I have a tremendous amount of affinity for is the Appropriations Committee. And I'm sure you all were paying attention to the very laudatory rhetoric, the bipartisan rhetoric that we had, the affinity that we have for one another on this committee. And it's been a great privilege to serve on that committee. I am here testifying today in my new role on this committee as the Homeland Security Subcommittee ranking member. I guess Ms. Roble-Allard and I got the hot potato. And I do look forward to working very closely with Ms. Roble-Allard in her role as the chairman. We are friends, we work well together, and we've actually sat down and we talked. We know, let's face it, there are definite differences in the ways that our members view where we are. I think it's very important to focus on a couple of things. First of all, people are hurting. A lot of federal workers are not getting their paychecks, and that's bothersome to me. It's bothersome to me as a legislator. It's bothersome to me as an American. And I do think as we continue to go through this, the rhetoric is very important. I spoke last week on the floor, and I said, let us avoid terms like good faith and bad faith. I believe we are all acting in good faith. We're passionate about the way that we feel. And our constituents, I come from a very Republican district in East Tennessee, but not every person in that district views the world the way I do, just as in some of the more liberal districts in this country. Not everyone looks at the world the way that their member views it. But we are elected to govern, and right now we are at an impasse. And I think the best way when we're at an impasse, I practiced law for 24 years in Chattanooga, and when we had an impasse, many times we sat down and we worked out a compromise. We came to the table. We didn't get everything we got. Sometimes we didn't get 50% of what we needed. But it is my fervent hope, knowing that the President will not sign a bill that does not have sufficient border security, and I respectfully agree with the President on that point. I know not everybody does. We understand that the Senate will not take this up. If there was a mechanism in place that we could get together and come up with something that everyone could live with, I think would be very beneficial, not only to the American people, but really to our reputation as legislators. Because the American people, whether Republican, Democrat, independent, political or apolitical, are looking for leadership right now. And I would like to see that leadership come from the great people's house. Mr. Chairman, with that, I yield back.
Thank you very much. Ms. Torres?